Welcome to episode 15. I think it's time to build my first passive crop farm. I'm not going to collect the crops in this outer ring of crops because I want the villagers to be able to get all the vegetables or food that they need so that they will continue to multiply as needed. All I have to do is put a bed down for them. The first thing I've got to do is dig out this area below the crop farm. That should be the last row that I need to go to. Is that right? It should be this row right here. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now I've just got to dig out these tunnels. This is the center point. I'm going to dig out the center point first and just go to right here. 1, 2, 3. Yes, that's it. Then I'm going to be able to dig out the other side and put it right about here. Is that right? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. No, it needs to go there. Okay. Now I've just got to clear this room out a little bit. First though, I do want to get the floor dug out just a bit. I want a lot of room. See? Look at all these crops that they're just leaving behind. And I don't want to have to pick them up every time. I have been doing this, but I would prefer that they just be stored away. What if I'm down in a basement somewhere? They're just going to disappear. So that's my reason for making the passive crop farm. This is kind of the pattern. I'm going to use hoppers. I don't want to use a minecart. It would just make noises the entire time. And I don't want that. If this was like 15 or 20 rows deep, I might do it. But this is right at the surface. I'm going to have to hear that all the time. So no, we're just going to use hoppers. If I use up all the iron I've got, no big deal. I got the floor done. Now I've just got to work on the ceiling. If I use up all the iron, that just gives me another reason to go adventuring, finding more iron. Now I've just got to line up this hole right where... Oh, I forgot about the water. Let's put a brick in place instead. There we go. Well, there's all the torches. I've got the hole mostly done. There we go. A lot better. Now I've just got to fill this area up with hoppers. But first, I want to go ahead and put my chest in place. These are going to be what I collect all the carrots with. I might add potatoes in and just let the villagers do all the work in the future. I'm not going to do it yet though. I think I'll do it when I get all 4 crop farms made. And really all I have to be concerned about here is making sure that all the hoppers point towards a hopper that goes to the chest. Once I get that done, I'm done. There we go. See? I've already got 6 carrots. I do want to decorate this room a bit, but I'll get to that eventually. First, I'm going to clear out this little room a little bit first, and then I'll decorate. There we go. Looking good so far. Except, actually, this is the second room. It's already got 19 carrots. The first room that I built is up to how many carrots? Look at this. 56 carrots. It's already working pretty well. It's not supposed to be a fast farm, just passive. Eventually, I will get these rooms completely decorated. But for now, I'm really just coming down here to pick up crops from time to time. I might just let it go. But, at this point in time, I'd like to get back to working on the basement. I wanted to make well-defined passageways. Walkways? That's what I'm talking about. I wanted the walkways to be well-defined so that I knew where everything started and ended. I just really wanted it to look nice. I will have to work on the water pathway, but I'll get to that eventually. First though, let's finish this up. That is now done. I've also got this side done. I will have to rework the waterways, but that'll be okay. Wait a minute. Let's see what these guys have. Anything any good? Nah. How about you? Anything? Ooh! Sea pickles? Absolutely! I'm getting as many of those as I can get. I've been looking for these things. I haven't found a warm ocean yet. I'm going to make more of them, so I'm going to need as much bone meal as I can get. Okay, how do you do this? Put them down and bone meal them? No. Sometimes this is how it works for me. How about on sand? No. Dirt? I tried this already once. Gravel? Okay. I looked it up. And you have to have coral. I hope this is the right kind. Is this the... Oh, okay. Really? Really? At least I was in water. Okay. Does this work? Yes, it works. Alright. We're golden now. Let's get as many of these as we possibly can for now. And how many will that come up to? That's a total of 2 stacks of 64 and 8. That's plenty. I also discovered you can just bone meal and it works on everything. I didn't think I knew all this before. I don't do this too often, but my plan is to eventually make me a minecart trail through the water, underground. What in the world is happening here? And I want it to be lit up pretty well. And get rid of all these floating bushes. And now I can also make some lime green dye. I want to use the lime green dye for the beds and the shulker boxes. Next up, I want a bone meal farm. Well, not really a bone meal farm, just going to take advantage of the farmers a little bit. It's really more for me than the farmers because I've got a lot of seeds that I get from my farm. So, this way, when I get the seeds, I can dump a bunch of them in there and I'll have me a bunch of bone meal before too long. I wanted it to look nice though. So, added some half slabs in. That way the chest down there would still open up. There we go. Okay, got the chest in place. Got the hopper in place. Considered another chest, but I think one will be enough. Now all we've got to do is put the composter in place and put the hopper on top. The hopper on top. The hopper on top. That's not on top. Okay, so you got to put a block down, then the hopper, then the composter. Now that that's all done, I can put a chest on top. I just need one. There. And I've already got 2 bone meal, just from the farmers. I want a better sugarcane farm. I know that I want it to kind of be in between here and my base that's across. So, I want to see how long it takes for how far the sugarcane will grow. So I made me a test strip. While I'm at the base, we'll see how far it grows out. I did move my chest around because they looked a little just sitting out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, well, it looks like, if I'm right, I've not left the base since I made this. Ow, excuse you, sir. Hey, thanks for the fishing rod. Okay, it looks like it grows all the way out here. I didn't plan on going all the way across, but at least now I know. So now I've just got to dig out a little bit to make the front of the base a little more even. That way when I put the sugarcane farm in, it'll look nice. I will have to reflood this area a bit, but I don't think that's going to be that difficult. Hopefully, the water will do it on its own once I've cleared it out. And that's what it looks like. Now I do need paths in between, and I've got an idea for that. But I need a path at the end so that I can just walk around. But if you put dirt down there, the sugarcane will stop growing. So, I'm going to need a lot of vines. And the reason why is because I'm going to make me a lot of mossy stone. Now that I've made that, we're going to make them into half slabs. And because they're half slabs, they will not cause the sugarcane to have any problems with access to water. But I'll be able to walk across it very easily. I went with the mossy because it looks like it fits in the water situation. There we go. I'm hoping the grass will grow in and make it look really nice. But that's the way it looks right now. Now that I've got that done, I've got another project to build. I've been working on filling up this ravine because I was hoping to have it full of water. That way it's a path from one river to the ocean. From my river over here to the ocean. It's not nearly as easy as I thought it would be. But I think I'm going to have to agree with the people that put in a layer of dirt at the top, one row from the top, filling it up with water, and then knocking this dirt out. I don't care for this method. And then, of course, in these areas, I'm having to fill it in to make sure it's completely filled. I didn't care for this method, but it did work. So if you're ever having to fill up a large area, I would highly recommend this way. Of course, I'm going to misplace blocks all over the place. And you can always tell when everything fills in because the water stops moving. Then all I've got to do is dig this dirt back out again. We have gotten it done. Look at that. It took way too long. But now I've got a way to go from my river, which is right over here, through here, and it will lead me out to my ocean. I wanted to make a joke there that it was my farming ocean because for some reason animals just keep jumping in the water here. There's a cow. I don't know why, but I'd like a bridge across here. I'm not good with building bridges. So this is my attempt at a bridge. I was hoping to make it a kind of a, it goes up and down, but I ended up making it flat. I mean, it's a bridge, sure. But really, it's not something that I'm real proud of. You're always going to have that one build in your world that makes you go, yeah, I built it, but it looks okay. But, you know, yeah. You always have to have one of those builds. See how it's real flat? Tried adding in the stair blocks to make it look a little bit better. it helped a little, but not much. But I can go under it. That's the important part. I can go under it with the boat. I'm going to add some lighting, fix it up a little bit, but, you know. Really, I'm just trying to inspire y'all to do your own thing. And I'm sure that y'all can do way better than me. I wanted to add a wet dock in here. That's what I'm going to call it. Where I can just drive my boat up on and then walk up to my base. Have to clean it out a little bit, add in the slabs, but this is how it turned out. Now when I pull in, I won't jump out into a deep water. I'll just jump right out onto the first half slabs. That's nice. Okay, I think I'm done over here. It's okay, but you know, I like the dock. I'm just not real happy with the bridge. Now, collecting all the sugarcane that has grown gives me a bunch of sugarcane. It is great now. This is all the seeds I was talking about. I put them in here, and I forget about them. Then I can get me some bone meal. It does all the work for me. I finally figured out what I want to do over here. About time, right? I've kind of avoided this area for a long time. I am going to use these new, well, I guess they're not too new now, but they're the shelf blocks. And I'm going to make it so that I can put a lot of armor in here. First I have to dig out the area behind. Of course, this is out to the stairs, wall, I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. I also have to deal with this area over here because the wall is going to come out a little too far. Yeah, I'll get to that. Now, I'm just going to put this wall here temporarily. I'm not sure that I like the color, but I got to get the room built. There we go. I've just got to do the same thing over here. There's my rooms. Oh, well, I missed one. There. Now there's my rooms built. I think I'm just going to close this off. Maybe? No. I'd like to... we're going to leave it open for now. I like the little secret entrances. Maybe I can have that go somewhere. Well, Mr. Cat, how do you feel it is? Do you like it? Does it meet your expectations? I've just got to clean the upper side up a little bit so it'll look at least nice. It probably will need more work later, but this will do. This will do. I need a lot of strip logs. Shelf blocks take up a lot of wood, so I'm going to use a whole stack. And I think the spruce is a good color for this. That made 60 shelf blocks. I hope that's enough. I didn't count beforehand. Probably should have, but yeah. That's looking good. Let's get rid of these torches. I know how it's going to look now. I also want to leave an area in between all the sets of 3. That way I can get behind them, clean up any messes I have. But I have a reason for doing this. Now that I've got all my shelf blocks in place, all I've got to do is put the switches in. Every one of these shelf blocks will have switches behind them. Once I get those in place, then all I'll have to do is add items to each shelf block. Like this. Once I get all the items in the shelf block, then what I can do is I can go behind the shelf block, flip the switches, and then trade out my whole hotbar anytime I want. But if I don't want to do that, all I gotta do is flip the switches in the opposite direction, and then I can just switch out individual items. Once I get this room filled up, it's going to work out really nice. Well guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.